Hi there, Leo. We are going to begin looking at how things are going for you and see what this upcoming week of September 9th through 15th has to offer. But first, let's take a look at how your previous week went. I already had one card that fell out, so I'm going to take that. We have the upheaval card. And let's take a look at how the previous week is looking for Leo here. Earth. And wisdom. Awesome. That's awesome. I really feel like you really deepened into and extended yourself into a different perspective in the past week. And you realigned yourself back onto your courage. But it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Ace of Swords in reverse, Three of Pentacles in reverse. Needing to step away from the people that you thought you were enjoying the presence of, that you thought you were going to be involved with, or just stepping away in general from others, and from the storyline that you thought was going to go a certain way, just for a moment at least. And maybe disrupted a bunch of that personally to try to gain a better understanding or to write that storyline a bit better, because you know that it holds a better potential, or maybe you thought you felt the potential and then the situation just didn't want to bring that forward for you. The Lover's card and Death. So really then refreshing your perspective on how you're looking at your involvement with it. It feels like jobs or projects or the people around you, but in general, how you're going to involve yourself with them, and refreshing, reawakening who it is that you are trying to really be in the scenario by changing your perspective entirely. That's where you're coming from. We don't want to dwell on that too much. Let's take a look at some of the three-dimensional aspects. I'm going to just place these back in actually this time because I feel like they should be. I do actually want to start with this deck though. Let's look at the three-dimensional aspects right here of the coming week of September 9th through 15th. And then we're going to take a look at some of the aspects where you'll be able to rise above. This is the three-dimensional energies that you will inevitably encounter on some level. We got the Mystery card to start, the Gifts card, and the Phenomenon card. How is Leo's week going to treat them separate? And what do you really land on towards the end there? That was a lot. I'm going to take a different one. What was the ending energy for Leo of the week? Oh, protection. I'm going to put the other one back because it kind of flew away and didn't want to be there. Protection. So right away we have this very fantastical lining of energies here, but let's take a look at how the energies are looking with the tarot first. Seven of Pentacles to start. Awesome. We've got the Seven of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. And then we have the Two of Swords with the Five of Cups. Interesting. So you start out with this Mystery card, and I think this is where you really have already surrendered from the previous week. I sense that you've allowed yourself to surrender, but that you found the areas that you are willing to dedicate yourself in. And that's where the Seven of Pentacles is here. I think that you really are striving to just put your 2 feet forward and stop worrying about like the areas that you felt like weren't delivering in the past week. And then in the second area here, you come into the gifts section. That's awesome. And the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Cups really showing, I think it really calls to the previous week. Aspects where you would have gone through that transformation and you were going through maybe more of that sorrow in the previous week. In this week, you're going to be like proven wrong. And you're going to be given things, given opportunities and experiences that are going to just completely like show you why you're going to like be reflecting on the aspects in the past week where you're like, I don't even know why I was worried. That was all supposed to be that way, and I'm so glad that it didn't turn out how I expected it to. Where's this phenomenon showing up in the tarot here? Holy hell, let's not do that. I think those want to flip. Three of Wands in reverse with the phenomenon. And King of Swords. I'm going to just lay out the rest of these so that I can kind of look at them all together. Awesome. We got the Strength card. Ace of Cups in reverse, but we'll see what's going on there. And then we have the Protection card. King of Cups and the Moon in reverse. So let me just go through here and get a few of these. Alrighty, so yeah, you're starting out that week recognizing how you want to let go of the baggage of the previous week. And you just say, you know what? I'm just going to set myself forward and just go for this. I'm just going to do the things that feel right, and that really pays off for you. And then you come to this area where the gifts come in, and you have this moment of, honestly, it feels like further healing, and it's going to be from another individual that you'll run into that gives you a call, or maybe it's even just within yourself, but you're going to have an aspect, a perspective change all at once provided by somebody else, maybe even by material offering or an option that's being offered to you, or just an experience where you're able to just enjoy yourself and indulge in the aspects that you are deciding to surrender to. And it'll bring clarity too. It'll bring clarity of what it is that you don't want to continue playing around with. I feel like you allowed yourself to think that there's a plan B involved that you needed to set up for yourself within the previous week or weeks, that all of a sudden you're going to gain a fresh perspective. This really feels like a fresh perspective change, where all of the things that were kind of sitting on your palette, all the things that you are considering as being aspects that you might have to fix or right, these are all going to get refreshed, and you're going to get this renewal. And then we come over to the phenomenon section. Let me just read what the phenomenon really describes. Again, because it's such a strange description to call a card just phenomenon. It's described as some occurrences are observed but unexplained in this life. Allow for space for the unknowable to exist without fear, keeping in mind that we don't have all the answers. Those of us who have otherworldly experiences are free to draw our conclusions without judgment. Honestly, I'm learning to love this card more, realizing how those areas that you thought you needed to set up a plan B, a plan Z, areas that you were worried, you are going to be tempted to try to continue to write this storyline and figure out what the plan is. But the King of Swords here shows how it's not going to have, it's going to be dry. The King of Swords shows that you are already accomplished and professional at what you're doing, and you've been acquiring your tools, but like you're trying, what you've been trying to do is trying to say like that the storyline is, it has its happy ending already, or that like you understand all of the like colors and the facets of how it's going to be constructed, and that this is how my fantasy is going to go, and this is how this hand is going to come in, and this is why this was occurring, and it's going to go exactly like this. That's not what this is about. That Three of Wands is saying stop looking at that target and let go of the wands and the pentacles and the cups for a moment, and just look at the bare facts of what you need to know for yourself for a moment, and let go. The Phenomenon card once again showing us to let go. And then over here you have the Separate card showing how you, I don't know why the word disavow came up. I don't actually really know if that's a word or if it, I don't know if I've just channeled that out of nowhere, but disavow, I have no clue, but that came forward. Maybe you know. Here, I'm just gonna freaking look this up so that I'm not like leaving myself hanging here as well. Disavow? Yeah, oh. Yeah, that's not the one we want. Disavow? I don't know. Disavowed. Deny any responsibility or support for. See, I know that my subconscious knows better than me sometimes, because this is all about disavowing the, it really just feels like what you really were like thriving on in your like excitements in the previous month, and letting go of it really feels like the storyline, but it's really not supposed to be about how you expect things to turn out. And what they're showing me is like you're gonna really be connecting with your usual skills, which are being like the part of you that knows how to like set your intentions and like know how to manifest them and to be creative to bring that forward. But this is just about moving full force, holding your strength paramount, and then letting go of where your gift is going to come in, you guys, and to separate from that responsibility that you held of what you're supposed to align behind your Leo aspects. Attempting to create every aspect of everything, and to hold a piece of knowledge behind everything, and to know who you're going to be involved with, or who's going to bring you that next best thing, or when your dream's going to come forward. Because what this is all saying so far is that the dream has already been taken care of. You're already going to get what you want. You just have to let go first. You just have to actually start, because like what they're showing me is that what you've been doing is that you've been watching, and this is the metaphor that's coming forward for me, the analogy, is that you've been watching videos of, let's say if you were trying to learn how to lathe, the wood turning, and to carve, on a lathe, and so you just continue to watch videos over and over again to like try to find the right skill, and to like know that you're going to do it the best and make the best first bowl, and that it's going to look completely different than any other bowl. But like you just need to get on the fucking lathe. And over here, the Protection card with the King of Cups, it really to me feels like you're going to just have like, let's say within that analogy, like you're going to have a couple bowls done by the end of the week that look pretty good, and you're just going to be like, hey man, I can just give out these bowls and like have fun with giving out these bowls, and I don't actually need to see these look perfect, and I recognize that now. And that's when you actually let go of the parts of yourself that are trying to dig deeper into this whole realm of like, but like there's this aspect of myself and there's this other part of myself. Like you finally like take all the moon aspects of like, oh, but like how does it treat me, and like how do I reflect from my light, and how is it supposed to make me feel when I'm alone, and is it going to really like sustain itself in theory, and all of what the moon was trying to do. And it's just like, fuck that, just get your fucking seeds planted, leave it up to us. And King of Cups here showing that just have some fucking fun. And that's what that really feels like, is that you go out and you have some fun with some people, honestly. Let's see if that's what that's kind of, what does this week kind of end with for you? Hierophant, I will probably never say that right. There's so many different ways and I'd never know. Hierophant in reverse, and that is awesome because you finally step out of your restrictions, your expectations. And the star that came up in the beginning before I started the video, and I was like, I don't know which direction it was supposed to be, and it came in reverse, and I turned it back over to be upright because I was like, I think this is supposed to be upright. And what do you know? I was right. But yeah, this is going to be a great week. The only way that you can actually, for it to not seem like a great week, is if you convince yourself that you have to look at your external circumstances to try to figure out, you know, and like the restrictions or the structure of how it's supposed to go within the Hierophant concepts of that, the lore that's supposed to take root according to what I'm supposed to do and the structure of what I thought I should be. And then all of a sudden you get a gift, and it's going to be outside of anything you could have ever created for yourself. Let's take a look at how you can take advantage of your experiences to the best ability and to manifest your highest potential, and how that's done. Here's the higher path, you guys, and the best form of yourself that you could possibly be throughout this week, and why all of this is going on. 10 of Wands. Yeah, oh my gosh, you know what? That resonates so much, because it's like, you guys, like, you let yourself, we let ourselves as Leos, it's my moon, hold on to some things because you thought that those were your seeds that you had planted, and you're like stop kidding yourself about the areas where you thought you planted seeds when you were just lugging along an extra like knick-knack that is supposed to be a part of the collection. Seriously, like. And 3 of Wands, gosh, I love the illustration. I'm going to pull out the rest of these and I'm going to really explain what I feel about that. How does Leo rise above and take advantage of their highest, wow, interesting, opportunities and expectations, or just the highest potential of himself? 3 of Pentacles, awesome. Okay, so what this really makes me feel like is that also don't, like, I also feel like the thing that I need to say about this 10 of Wands is that everything that you guys have gone through, Leo, like it has, like, I think you feel like it was supposed to like lead up to something, but like something more, and that you're in the middle of that process, it already gave you everything you needed. And really let yourself come into this zone of like shaving off all of the pieces and letting go of the extra pebbles within your, you know, bucket or whatever, that were of that old thing, and recognize the lessons that were supposed to come forward in the older aspects, and like let those be that. Like I'm telling you right now, there were lessons that were supposed to come forward that already came forward that did bring you to a completion, and you want to think that there hasn't been a completion because you want to see things through to the end and to create something great out of this and feel like you have extra progress. But this, because what I meant by that was like those extra wands, the extra pebbles and stuff that I'm telling you to shave off, you wanted those to be contribution of your potential and be something that already has amounted to something greater to give you something more. And you're not supposed to look at everything and say that therefore should give me this. You're really supposed to just bring you back down to your trinity of who you are, your divine masculine, your divine feminine aspects, and how that is embodied within the self, within this whole. This is wholeness of passion. That's what's going on with the 3 of Wands here. Wholeness within passion. And just looking up into the beauty of creation itself and anything that could possibly come forward. And so the Hierophant here, really, I know this is confusing because you have the Hierophant in reverse here, but up here, what this is telling me is that all of this actually is leading to a much bigger purpose where you're going to be at the top. And to me, it feels like you are letting yourself conduct this storyline where you are sitting in the bottom rung and upholding something greater. And what do you know? You have this other, I want to make sure you can see this. Yeah, you can see it pretty well. What do you know? You have this other pyramid aspect here where you widen out into this new perspective with the three of Pentacles, and this feels like humility to me, where you all of a sudden realize the whole you're a part of, the aspects of the greater whole that you're a part of, except that this time it doesn't feel like there's urgency or constriction around it. And right here is where all of a sudden you're like, okay, I do have progress no matter what, and I see that when I just correlate with these incredible people. Because that's what you're going to see through that celebration at the end of the week, is involvement with others that's going to show you really who you are, and to stop trying to define it according to something that you built in the past. Awesome. What is this all about for you guys right now? What's the higher perspective goal spiritually that's going on here? Cosmic connection, number 11. That's awesome. Really aligning to that higher perspective of who you really are in this experience, and really uplifting your connection of who you are through divine contact, and to stop just, seeing it as what the past you is needing to accumulate onto that therefore storyline, the therefore this, therefore that. Anything that can help them on their path. I got the Dolphin Spirit card. This and that are true. I've had some difficulty kind of fully grasping the Dolphin Spirit one. I guess I should grab the description. All right, so Dolphin number 20, I believe. Yeah. All right, so this is described as Dolphin Spirit, like her earthly manifestation, is a reminder of duality. As the dolphin is both mammal and sea creature, so too is Dolphin Spirit, both this and that. Two truths coexist, the story you tell and another is as well. The duality of life is present when we are suffering. For there is a blessing too in the helpers that appear. Within the clouds are silver linings. When we later reflect on what happened, we can see that a situation was both this and that, and a choice led to both joy and sorrow. No relationship is either all good or all bad, and people have qualities of both light and shadow. Focus on the positive, for light exists alongside the darkness. Dolphin Spirit calls for you to come up from below and enjoy a weightless moment in the sun as you dive in and out of this and that. Accepting and even enjoying the duality of life. Why not join Dolphin Spirit in acknowledging and affirming the blessings present in this moment? In all areas of your life, there are aspects of both this and that. Today can celebrate this fact and recognize the complexity and the beauty of the fabric of the universe. You are at a place right now where your past self is still present as you move toward the new self you are becoming. Aspects of both selves are present. So even if you want to say goodbye to what was, you're required to find solace in this between time. Today is not a day to choose one over another either. Today is not the day to choose one over another either, but rather to accept things as they are without judgment or resistance. Even in matters of the heart, duality is present. Your next action will be obvious when you drop your bias and see things as a whole. Wow, I've never read that before, and I think that is hugely helpful for everybody right now. Everybody's kind of going through this thing where we are really expecting something big, and it's because we think we have all the answers because we're looking at the past, And right now, the past isn't supposed to accumulate to any of that right now. This is really just all about acquiring that cosmic connection and just bringing in new energy, energetic movement. And the dolphin, for real. Like, you know, it's like, this is about creating something new, but not like just starting new beginnings. This is creating yourself as a new whole. Any messages from your angels? Improving health. I'm sure that's helpful for some of you out there. But this is about realignment. And no other answers. Great. No other messages. Great. So yeah, guys, this is all about realignment. Enjoy yourself through this next week, Leo. This is a great week to just kind of let things occur and see where the gems come forward in that to teach yourself about yourself. I'm connected to the earth and notice predictable rhythms. That kind of opened a new can. Yeah, just, you know, put yourself first and don't, like, try to continue about these storylines with that 10 of Wands. If you are sensing that, like, higher voice coming forward and being like, dude, this really isn't yours anymore, and it's trying to tell you, like, you know, that you're supposed to just let go, like, I know it might be hard, but that might be what you're led to about a few things this week. Great, guys. I love you so very much. Please give me a like if you enjoyed this, and hit that notification bell to get the next video coming up for the next week, for the next week's soul work. Have a great one, guys.